Hello, folks. Welcome to our Speaking from the Heart series. Now, for those of you who tune in to our Wednesday and Friday podcasts, you already know we usually speak from the head, where rationality takes center stage. But today, as always in this series, we're speaking from the heart, where feelings, emotions, and human connections thrive. Hi, I'm Richard Fontany, and I'm happy you joined us today. And in this fast-paced world, patience can sometimes feel like a lost art. Yet, it's one of the most transformative qualities we can cultivate, both in our personal lives and in our work with others. You know, we live in a culture of immediacy. Instant results, instant communications, and instant gratification. But there is a tremendous value in slowing down, in waiting with intention, and in trusting the process. And in this podcast, we'll explore how practicing patience can enrich our business, work, and our personal lives. So let's get started. You know, patience is often defined as the ability to tolerate delay, difficulty, or suffering without getting upset or angry. But I like to think of it as something more. It's the art of being present. When we are patient, we allow time to unfold naturally, trusting that things will come together in due course, even when they seem to be moving slowly. Now, this applies to the workplace, our relationships, and even the goals within our businesses. So let's take a look at patience now from a gospel perspective. The gospel teachings tell us that patience is more than just waiting. It's a profound expression of faith and trust in the timing of our lives. And from this perspective, patience is often viewed as a divine virtue, one that reflects our understanding of God's plan for us. Again, it teaches us to go deep within ourselves and touch the spirit of the divine. And when we do that, patience becomes something more than just waiting for the next thing. In chapter 1, verses 2 to 4 in the book of James, we are reminded that we will always have our trials, but to treat them as a joyful privilege. And he goes on to say that these challenges develop our patience. This teaching reminds us that patience is not merely about enduring hardships, but about embracing the growth that comes from them. And by cultivating patience, we align ourselves with a deeper spiritual purpose, allowing us to respond with grace and understanding in all the circumstances that we encounter. Now, developing patience isn't easy. First, we are asked to see the connection to a deeper spiritual purpose, and then understand that our trials are placed before us to develop patience. Now, I say this is hard because those of us who want to quickly achieve results or get to the end quickly may have to pull back before moving ahead. And this takes patience in the most practical way. Let's see how patience plays out in a business situation. And I'll call this one the long game. Now, Jane started her own wellness company. In the early days, she was constantly stressed about results. If sales weren't climbing as quickly as she wanted, she panicked, overworked, and pushed her team hard. But after months of seeing minimal results, despite the extra effort she was engaged in, she decided to shift her approach. Jane realized that meaningful growth takes time. She began to focus on the long-term vision, investing in building strong relationships with her clients and creating products she truly believed in. By exercising patience and allowing things to evolve, Jane's business began to flourish. Sales rose steadily. Her team was less stressed, and they aligned more with the company's mission. Patience, in this case, was the key to sustainable growth. Now let's take an example of how patience plays out in our personal lives. And let's call this one building stronger relationships. Patience can make or break relationships. Think about any conflict you've had with a close friend or a partner. By the way, patience is most often called upon when we are relating to those we love the most. You know, when we react immediately in anger or frustration, we often say things that we don't mean. But when we pause, give ourselves time to cool down, reflect, and approach the situation with patience, the result is usually a more meaningful resolution. The old adage here is count to 10 before reacting. Here's another example. Take Jack, for instance. He was going through a rough patch with his wife. And every time a disagreement occurred, it seemed to escalate into a big argument, and causing extreme frustration for both. Eventually, he realized that he needed to take a step back. Instead of reacting immediately, he started listening more and giving their conversations needed time. He practiced patience, both with himself and with his spouse. And over time, this approach led to a deeper understanding between them, and they grew closer as a result. Now, it wasn't an overnight fix, but it worked because Jake chose to be patient. Now, was this easy for Jack? Well, not really. He had to go deep within himself and see greater meaning, a spiritual connection. And when he did this, he was able to free himself from always reacting to practicing love with patience. So what lessons can we draw from these examples? Well, patience is more than just waiting. It's an active practice that can lead to growth, both personally and professionally. Here's what patience can do for us. It can improve our decision making. When we're patient, we make decisions with greater clarity rather than out of haste or fear. It can facilitate stronger relationships. Patience allows us to communicate more effectively and listen to others with greater empathy. And patience can reduce stress. Accepting that sometimes things just take time, we can reduce the pressure we put on ourselves. Now, what can we do to put patience into practice? For instance, how do we apply it in our business? Well, the next time you're working toward a big goal or waiting on results, remind yourself that success doesn't always come immediately. Practice patience, trust the process, and allow growth to unfold at its own pace in our places of work. When we're faced with a difficult colleague or a project, instead of rushing for an immediate solution, we need to take a step back and give the situation time to resolve naturally and approach it with a sense of calm. And in our personal lives, we can practice the art of pausing before reacting in our relationships. Listening gives space and allows understanding to develop. Our relationships will be stronger when we practice patience. Now, thank you for tuning in, folks. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up so you don't miss any future podcasts. Also, please share it with others if you're so inclined. Speaking of future podcasts, in our next episode, we'll explore compassion, another essential heart-centered quality that we can all cultivate. And lastly, here are some resources that inspired today's discussion. You can find them on Amazon, and no, I don't receive any commissions from them, at least not at this time. They are The Power of Patience by M.J. Ryan, Perfecting Patience by the Dalai Lama, and Patience, The Art of Peaceful Living by Alan Locos. You'll find these in the description below. Until next week, when we speak from the heart again, take a deep breath, practice patience, and enjoy your week. Oh, and one more thing before I go. Remember, we have 3 weekly podcasts. One on Monday, Speaking from the Heart. One on Wednesday, Coaching Talks. And one on Friday, Affiliate Marketing Secrets. Please join us. I'm Richard Fontenay. So long for now. See you next week.